This commentary is going to be a little outdated, if you will. One of the reasons for that is because I wanted to take some time for the turmoil to pipe down a little bit. For those of you who aren't aware, I live and work and spend almost all of my time exclusively in the region of southeast Minnesota. That means everything from my the ministry that I do, if only even one. I have an open air evangelism, open air preaching ministry. I engage in apologetics and some philosophical argumentation in public and on college campuses and whatnot. I do that primarily in southeast Minnesota, some in northeast Iowa. Most of my grocery shopping and all of that is done between Rochester, Minnesota and Austin, Minnesota. I have been in this area for over 25 years. I am still not viewed as a native of the town that I live in because I haven't been here long. I wasn't born here, so I'm not considered part of this town. Most of the time people don't recognize me as being from Spring Valley, but I'm from this area. I am affected by decisions that are made in different cities in the area, whether or not I have a say in the elections of those towns. And one of those cities is the third largest city in the state, which is Rochester, Minnesota. I spend a goodly amount of time in that town, in that city. Rochester, whether people recognize it or not, is a metropolitan area. It's certainly not, the size of the Twin Cities, but it comes in third behind Minneapolis, then St. Paul, and then Rochester, with Duluth following up close behind it. Rochester is a progressive, leftist, Marxist community. There's no way around it. Even the conservatives in Rochester, for the most part, the vocal conservatives, are very much influenced by leftist thought. That being said, the worst of the leftist thought certainly exists in the leadership of the city of Rochester, from their city council to their mayor, Kim Norton. I have made no bones about my lack of appreciation for Kim. I've never cared for Kim's worldview. I've never cared for Kim's politics. I believe Kim is dangerous to the people of Rochester. Nothing I can do about it. I don't live there. I don't have a vote. But I am going to call a spade, and I'm going to say, hey, Kim, you're dangerous, and you're a tyrant, and you're a bully, and here's why. That's not the copy. This is why you are dangerous and a bully, Kim. It's because you can't stand being challenged. I'm going to go back to the beginning of July, when you began your rollout of the mask/facial covering mandate in the city of Rochester. When you determined that it was going to be for the good of the people of Rochester, that you were going to control how businesses did business, and threatened them that if they failed to comply with your mandate, with your edict from on high, they were going to be stripped of their ability to do business in Rochester, period. And while there's certainly some interest in governmental officials, whether they be elected servants such as yourself, or the bureaucrats who make up the bulk of the city administration, there is some interest in making sure that businesses are operating according to health and safety standards. When you threaten, and that's what you did, Kim, in the beginning of July, you threatened businesses to comply with your edict or to lose their income. to be stripped of the freedom, of the liberty to do business, to be entrepreneurs, to be capitalists. You threatened them. And when they pushed back and said, well, then we'll pick up and we'll move to communities that will allow us to do business relatively unfettered, you got angry, Kim. And not only did you get angry, you appealed publicly to the governor. And here's how. Governor, I'm asking you to institute mandatory mask wearing in the entire state so that business owners don't have the freedom to go other places. That's not a direct quote, but that's pretty darn close. That is evil. That is evil. And when you got pushed back on that, your response, Kim, was, I'm tired of being bullied by men. Yeah. You said it. It was out there in public. Kim, you're the mayor of the third largest city in the state of Minnesota. You didn't get elected by men who were bullying you. In fact, you didn't get elected without men voting for you. If men were bullying you, then I don't see how you could have got elected. Being pushed back against is not being bullied. You're an elected servant. When people push back against your policies, whether they're right or wrong, when people push back against them, that's not being bullied. That's being challenged. Being challenged is okay. Being challenged is right. People have the right, they have the liberty to challenge your decisions. And just because you could get the city council to go along with you, which is not a big feat, the city council by and large leans as far to the left as you do. When the people say enough is enough, I don't want to have to do this, I'm not going to do this, and I'm going to take my business outside of the city limits of Rochester, and your response is, one, to accuse them of bullying you because they're men, that is bigotry on your part. Just because someone's a man and they push back doesn't mean that you're being bullied. You're the bigot. You're the sexist. That's misandry. Not misogyny, that's misandry. The other part of that is, to protect your city, you're going to ask the governor to do something so that people lose their liberty to take their business where they want to take it? What kind of Marxist utopia do you think you want to live in? I don't understand that. Kim, you got the city council to go along with you. Okay, fine. They agreed to back you up on your mask mandate. What in the world do you think the penalty for not obeying your edict should be? Should people go to jail for that? Should they, if they don't obey, should they have their constitutional rights stripped from them? Should they no longer be able to buy groceries because they don't obey you? Kim, you pander to the people. Kim, you're a danger because you pander, but you only pander to a particular crowd, and that crowd is whatever crowd backs your leftist agenda up. The vast majority of Minnesotans in southeast Minnesota are traditionalists. They're hardworking contributors to society. But those aren't the people that you're appealing to. You're appealing to the sheep. And I see it in your city every day. Every time I go out, I see people alone, wearing face coverings outside. And there's this look on their faces of just absolute fear. And the ones that aren't showing fear are showing compliance. Now, compliance is great if it's something that is illegal for them to be doing, and they refuse to not be in compliance because they are afraid of the penalty of law. But a facial covering? Really? You're going to accuse people of being bullies? You're going to strip the right to the pursuit of happiness, the right to liberty, and the right to life? And don't get it twisted, Kim. Life, as it's said in the Declaration of Independence, that right to life, the right to liberty, and the right to the pursuit of happiness, the right to life doesn't mean just that you have a right to not die. The right to life doesn't mean that you have a right to not be infected with a virus. The right to life means the right to pursue living in liberty as you are pursuing your happiness. No government entity has the authority or the power constitutionally to take that from people, and they darn sure don't have the power as mayors to come in and issue an edict and then insist that the city council back them up. And when that isn't enough, to demand that the governor come in and rescue you so that your tyrannical overthrow, or excuse me, your tyrannical overreach, your draconian means can be enforced on everyone because they don't have a right to go anywhere else. That is a Marxist dictatorship. You will do business in Rochester, or we will take your life from you. And notice I didn't say you'll be killed. We'll take your life. Life means the liberty to pursue happiness. If you strip the liberty to pursue happiness away from people, you have stripped their life away from them. And Kim, that is what you were attempting to do. And then you tried to bring public shame on business owners who pushed against you. Because you knew you couldn't force them without court challenges. So you brought public shame down on them. You made them the objects of public derision for daring to challenge you, your Royal Highness. And like I said, it's been well over a month since this happened because I wanted to take some time to see how this would all play out. And sure enough, here we sit in a statewide mask mandate that no one's enforcing, by the way. No one's enforcing it. Employers are enforcing it on their staff, which is, an employer has a right to require their staff to wear whatever they want, within reason. It can't be made to wear a message that doesn't agree with the individual's personal, political, or religious views. But if an employer says wear a mask, that's fine. And private business owners, if they want to require their customers to wear a mask, they can do that as well. But that's private business. And the role of government in that is to protect the business's right to conduct how they want to conduct within certain realms. And one of those is not being forced to wear a face mask just because some governor or mayor or a city council says you must. Kim, you're dangerous. And the reason that you're the most dangerous of all people in this region is because you come off as so kind and so sweet. But then you expose yourself by attacking places like the Crossroads License Bureau based off of false information. You expose yourself by crying about being bullied. The most powerful woman in Rochester when it comes to elected authority. Nobody bullied you, Kim. A lot of those people that you would say bullied you probably voted for you. You're not bullied. You're in a position of power. A scary amount of power. And your public, your followers, your workers, your comrades, Commissar Walz, one of your comrades, they backed you up because you have them scared of a virus that is not impacting Rochester very much. That is not how you lead. You should be ashamed of yourself. Sic semper tyrannis. As always, thanks for watching the video. Thanks for being open-minded. Thanks for listening. I would ask that over here in the corner, somewhere on your screen, you hit the subscribe button. It's important, not for me, but because mainstream media, legacy media, isn't going to get the word out. They're not going to let people who don't toe the established line speak. So for the sake of liberty and for the sake of the defense of this nation, small little independent voices like mine need to be heard, especially the interviews. It's got very little to do with my commentary and a lot more to do with the interviews and the people who are affected when liberties are tread on. So once again, hit the subscribe button, like, subscribe, and share. Thank you very much.